Start of a closer roll.
Yeah, please. All right. Well, obviously, congratulations to UCLA. They came in here with a great plan. I think Deshaun's doing a great job. Coach Bieniemy, the OC, doing a lot of really good things. And Garbers, the quarterback, came in the game hot, hurt us with his feet and his arm. So we're obviously disappointed. That was a tremendous missed opportunity for us. A game that we had every opportunity to win. Even when we got back down, we clawed back in it. Chance at the end, and didn't make the plays that you need to make. So credit to them. I'm sure you guys have lots of questions. I'm happy to answer them all.
Why have things seemed so difficult for your offense globally, but also today within the red zone and even in the first half? What do you think is leading to these struggles?
I think they did a good job early on of coming out and just all out maxing. Like they were literally bringing four guys in the B gaps and bringing the free safety behind. And some of the mechanisms we have to handle that are the screen game and are gapping it up, maxing it up, and trying to throw the ball down the field. Eventually we got to one with Nayor where he hit them down the field and got them a little bit out of that. But they took the ball. They went on a long drive. We went 3 and out. They went on another long drive. And we had seen that against Rutgers. We had seen that, that's kind of how they play early on in the first half. Rutgers only had 3 possessions. We were able to hit the big play, make it a 7-0 game. But I think in general, in the passing game, when it came to third down and converting third downs, they were just all out zero blitzing us, and we weren't answering it the way that you need to. And once we finished the game like 9 of 17 on third down. I can't tell you in the first half. At one point, it was like 1 for a lot. So we struggled. Made the adjustment in the second. We made the adjustment early. We got it, kind of finally taken care of in the second half, and we're able to stay on the field more. And then, down in the red zone, the first time down there we scored, obviously, right? So that was, we were good there. Really, the one before the half, put the ball in the 2. We've been running the power play. We lost Barrett, so we put Elijah Judy in at fullback. He was doing a great job. He went down. So just kind of really more a matter of a couple times bodies, and then just finding the play to get in. They maxed us again, zeroed us up, and we just didn't withstand it. So in terms of everything that went wrong, in the first half, I came in to the guys, Sam in the locker room. I said, that's about as bad a half of football as you could withstand between the offense and the defense, and yet it was 13-7. So I thought we were excited to go out and play in the second half, and then unfortunately had that pick 6, but still crawled back into it. So I think there's a lot of things that we have to continue to work on.
What do they do in the first quarter to kind of tip the scale so much? 21 plays to your 3, 4 or 5 on third downs. What were they doing to get you so unbalanced as a defense? Because we didn't see that last week against a team on paper in Ohio State that obviously most would consider a pretty elite offense.
Yeah, they've done that. This team, UCLA, coming in, they went down the field and scored on the first drive against Rutgers. I believe they scored on the first drive against Minnesota. They have a veteran quarterback who's kind of finding his rhythm in that offense. And they won on third down versus man. They threw the shallow cross, they threw the corner route. We were able to hold them to a field goal, but we just couldn't get off the field early on in that drive on that series. And then the second time through, we really couldn't get off the field as well. As I told the guys when I kind of pulled them all up, it was we had a sack, we just kind of fell off him, he ran out. We had another one where we blitzed 5, and he went up in the A gap, went for about 60 yards. So a lot of little things that aren't really about talent, but just about us kind of making the play that's there to be made. And I thought we settled down a little bit after that. But I think Garber's legs hurt us, and but we came into it knowing like, hey, they've moved well early. The key to people has been wearing them down in the fourth quarter. Like that game was a carbon copy of their Minnesota game, where Minnesota got the ball back and went down the field. They just made one more play to win the game. And unfortunately, Heinrich makes the fourth down stop. We get down there, and then we take a penalty, we lose the time, and we don't make the plays.
That penalty, the pick 6 on the first play of the third quarter, how difficult was that to withstand? And do you think that Dylan did he not see the linebacker? And also was that an issue with him as far as not seeing things downfield at times during the game?
Well, yeah, I think, he was under duress in the first half, and I think any young quarterback coming out of that would probably start to see a lot. The old saying, you see a lot, you see a little, you see a little, you see a lot. I think he wasn't real comfortable. I don't want to speak for him, but with all the things he was saying, I don't think he was real comfortable. No, that was a play action pass to Thomas down the middle of the field into cover two, and he was running free. It was going to be an explosive play, and in behind it is an in cut, and he just threw the in cut. So credit to him. I thought after that, he settled down. We found some run game, and again, a lot of that was kind of what we had seen people do against them. Right? They withstand the early storm from UCLA and their script, and then you kind of make the plays to get back in the game. Unfortunately, that pick six and really the missed opportunity down the red zone on the first time that hurt us and set it apart.
On that last touchdown drive, I know it was a little hectic with Dylan getting hurt and whatnot, but were you okay with the pace, or did you want your offense to kind of pick up the pace?
Yeah, my philosophy has been in those situations, like you're in a 2-for-1 situation, so you want to score before the 2 minute. So at 4:38, I know everyone was kind of upset. The crowd was, I think at one point, try to get everyone to calm down. I understand why, but we knew, we had 2 timeouts, we had the 2-minute conversion. We wanted to get in the right plays. Again, some of those things. Ramir Johnson went down. Elijah Judy went down. The quarterback went down. So trying to get the right people in the game to run some of those red zone plays, was a little bit difficult. And then with what they do, right? You're getting up there and it's either cover 2 or zero blitz, so you're kind of having to check some things. So, but in the end, it worked, right? We scored the touchdown. We scored it with 3:20 left. We stopped them. They punted the ball back to us, and we had 2:30, and we had a chance to go down and score. And in this league, if you have the ball at the end with a chance to go score and tie or win a game, that's Big Ten football. And we just didn't make the plays once we crossed the 50. You have to make, and obviously that penalty was big.
Did Dylan decide on his own to go back in the game there for a second, or did you guys clear him to go back in and then?
Well, the doctors cleared those guys, right? So I think, once the doctor said he was cleared, I just saw him running in. I wasn't part of anything saying, hey, let's get Dylan in here. I think once he went through whatever testing they had, he went to run out, and then obviously they just felt the pain again and just said, hey, I can't do this. So.
Do you have a sense of where the injury was and what caused it? Was it just a hit?
I think it was a hit to his back. Yeah, I think it was his back.
How tough is this going into the bye week now? I mean, you had an opportunity, obviously, today to get to number 6. Now you got another whole week to think about this. I mean, how do you move forward from something like today?
You just try to dominate tomorrow. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it was a tremendous missed opportunity. It's a game that despite everything that happened early on, we weathered the storm and had a chance to go in. And now we have to battle back. So, it's the same question. You guys asked me after Indiana. I said, hey, we'll be back. I expect us to be back. Along the way, obviously when something like that, today happens, and that people are going to be disgruntled. You're going to hear things, and the players are going to hear things, and that's all part of it, right? That's all part of when you lose a game like this. And so, if I was in the stands today, I'd be frustrated. I know a lot of guys probably in the locker room are frustrated because they know we're better than that, right? And but we are where we are, and you have to just have to play yourself back into it. And we have 3 more opportunities to go play football. We've got some great seniors that I know want to win one, if not 2 or 3, and that's what we'll have to do.
I know you guys have a standard. Players talk about having a standard on defense, and it felt like last week you played with that, but maybe 2 of the last 3 games maybe didn't play with that in the first half. Do you have a sense of why that maybe hasn't quite been there in the Indiana and this game?
Well, I think sometimes you have to give credit to the other team. They scored 35 points last time they played, coming off a bye. I thought they threw and caught. It wasn't like a game other than that one crack toss. It wasn't a game like we didn't tackle. We had some opportunities on the quarterback, and then we started making some plays late. After that pick 6, I thought the rest. We come out the first drive of the second half. We had the pick 6. I thought the defense after that, they did give up, 1 score, but I thought they hung in there. But I think a lot of credit has to go to UCLA and their passing game and the things that they did, and quarterback making plays. Tommy got back out there. He went and played. So, I don't think this didn't feel like they weren't trying or anything like that. It just this was a good offense today, and I told them I prepared them. It was 17-17 against LSU And late in the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter, just LSU made the plays in the fourth quarter, and I wanted to get to the fourth quarter and make more plays than they did, and we came close, but we just didn't do it.
And after last week, we talked championship mindset and what have you, and no matter how ready they were to play today, how much did that first quarter kind of suck the life out of you? Because it was tough to get into a flow when you eventually did get the ball.
Yeah, that I hate to. I just don't want to say that because I don't want to make an excuse. Like just the blocks, the plays, like they just weren't good enough. Like we just didn't do enough good plays. Like when a guy made a play, like Jacory made that amazing catch, right? Nayor makes that amazing catch. But Dante had some good runs. All of a sudden, now that leads to points. When you don't do those things, you're not going to score. And so, I thought credit to UCLA, they made some more plays than we did, and I don't want to make any excuses about, hey, we didn't have the ball or anything like that. At the end of the day, we had our opportunities. And even going down to the very end of the 2 minute, we didn't quite execute. Getting out of bounds and lining up correctly. I mean, it's hard to win the Big Ten if you're not going to line up correctly in 2 minutes. So, and it's not just about that one play. There's lots of plays. You go back through the day. So, all you can do if you're me and our players is just go back to work and just keep grinding and try to get a little bit better at it.
You mentioned getting to the fourth quarter and making more plays. What kind of thought do you give about the way that you've started games the last 3 times out? Obviously, the defense played well last week at the start, but tentative offensively the last couple. And even in Indiana, it hasn't been coming out with your hair on fire at the beginning of the game. Do you see correlation there?
Yeah, I think a lot of that, again, goes back to third down. The football coach in me wants to say one thing, but I never want to come across as an excuse. You're playing these teams coming off buys, and they're doing different things against you, right? They've studied you for 2 weeks, and they studied themselves, and they're coming out, and they're throwing something new at you. And I think, you get a series in, you kind of settle everyone down. But, this wasn't good enough. You have to play better than this. You have to come out, and you have to make plays, and you can't ease your way into it, Jacory made a couple of big plays that really allowed us to move the ball down the field. But we've got to do more early. But with that being said, we've crawled our way back into it. But there's a lot of areas, obviously, Mitch, that need to be better to have a chance to win these games.
Given that, Dylan, it's easy that seem hurt, now you do get a bye week. How much energy do you put into getting him right? But simultaneously, now you got to think about another quarterback behind Heinrich. Do you know off the top of your head who that person is?
Oh, yeah, it'd be Dan. If something would have happened tonight, Danny would have gone in there and played. We get 4 quarterbacks ready. Danny and Jalen, they're always ready to go. And, for really a difficult situation to be thrust into, Heinrich, he made enough plays to have a chance. Now, they were in cover 2 and not rushing. So when we held up in the rush, he was able to push the ball down the field. But yeah, no, I think Danny, if Danny's called upon, we expect Danny to go play well. All right, thanks, guys.